going to learn today Halloween, right? So that'll be fun. So we have been learning about Metta Sutta and we've been learning about Mangala Sutta, okay? So we're going to pause that a little bit and we're going to talk about Halloween. How many of you think that Buddhists celebrate Halloween? No, we do not, okay? Buddhism does not have Halloween, so I made it up, okay? But who want to tell me about Halloween?
Like the history?
Yeah, whatever you want to talk
Anything
about.
in general.
How well do you know about Halloween? The history behind Halloween, how it started.
You guys go every year. Come on, raise your hands.
Anybody?
I know the history.
Besides you.
All right, I'll pick Kathleen. Kathleen, come on, say it.
Well, it's
Louder, a little louder for me.
it's a holiday that comes every October 31st where people dress in costumes and go trick or treating.
Okay, so every October 31st, people dress up and go trick or treating. Okay, anything else? Thomas. You're gonna say it without food in your mouth. And I told you the rules. No food after 7:30. Okay, go ahead, Yeti.
Okay, so pretty much, so you dress in costumes like she said, and like there are like haunted houses and everything. Then when you go to each people's doors, you say trick or treat, then they give you candy. Or if they're not nice, they don't respond at all.
Okay. Anybody want to tell me why we do that?
Wait, I know.
Go ahead.
Okay. This might take a pause.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it all started in Ireland, like, when it was like the old 1700s or 1500s. Well, like, so people thought in Ireland how like the goblins, ghosts, and fairies that will
Go ahead.
that were like toilet paper houses, or like doing stuff like you would usually do, like toilet paper houses and messing around the houses. So, in that, to keep away the fairies and goblins, they put food outside their house so that they wouldn't come. And soon people started dressing like them, and then poof, the tradition came of Halloween on October 31.
Okay. So we all love Halloween, right? Raise your hand if you don't go for Halloween at all. And oh, I hate it. I don't like it.
Okay.
Raise your hand. Nobody. Everyone likes Halloween, right?
It's okay.
You dress up, you go around, you get candies. Who doesn't love it?
It's okay.
It's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
We all love it, right?
Also,
Then we really should know the history behind Halloween. Okay? And we're going to learn also how do we look at it from the Buddhist standpoint on Halloween. So, how many of you know this Spanish? Raise your hand. All right, Williams. What is that? The Day of the Dead. D-A-D what?
Day.
Der.
Of
Those.
the
Mortals.
dead.
Dead. So, what do they do? How many of you know the Day of the Dead? What do they do in Day of the Dead? That.
They like paint their face like a skeleton to like remember the people who died.
Very good. So they paint their face like a skeleton and they remember the deceased or dead people. All right. Who else raised your hand? Yadi, okay.
Me? Oh, you want to go? Okay. Okay, so pretty much, the Mexicans believe that if you're like really sad and everything, then that would like make the dead one sad. So they celebrate with parties, food, and everything. They like party around. They have these sugar skulls that are made completely out of sugar. They go to cemeteries and like clean it out and honor the grave. They make altars, etc.
All right, very good. So, we really want you to understand the history behind what we do here in this country, okay? How it originated. So, next slide. So, Mexicans, they have altar of the deceased, Okay, so these are the picture of the people or their relative who died. Okay, they put it on a very beautiful altar. They have all these. What kind of flower do they use?
Marigold.
Marigold. Who want to tell me why they use marigold? Where?
Okay, so the marigolds will, so they started from the Mayan temple, and they will bright colors to guide the spirits through and meet them in the human world.
Okay. What else do you notice on here on this altar? The marigolds and pictures. What else? Huh.
Things that they like red.
Things that they
Oh,
like.
oh, I know what that is.
Okay. So
I can list that all of it.
what else? What else do you see that you know of? Why do they put these?
Oh, come on.
Where?
Peta pecado.
And
What is that?
It's paper.
The paper. So these papers.
Cut out shapes.
what?
Why do they do that?
It evokes the joy
Wait,
It marks a doorway to where?
to this
Wayne.
between spirits.
Senora said it was just decorations.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, let's big slide.
Oh, yay! Yes, yes, yes.
So how many of you watch Spring Pop?
I used to.
You used to? How many of you watch this for Spring Pop?
You guys did past.
I did in my school. I do it. I try to do it every single day if I could.
I used to do
We know that. Or else I will do this. Mom, the test name mo lang.
Papa, I know it. Oh.
So, what's your Halloween costumes gonna be this year, guys?
Ninja. Popcorn costume. Bro, look at that. What's a popcorn costume?
Who's gonna be a Visco girl? No one? Okay.
Seriously? Bisco girl? What makes it so popular?
I don't hope it's me. You'll Don't mind that one.
I don't think this holiday means what you think it means. Dear Tim and Moby, what is Dia de los Muertos and how did it start? From Christina. Hi, Christina. Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican holiday that falls right around Halloween. In Mexico, it's known as Dia de Muertos, without the los. That probably got added when Mexican immigrants brought the holiday to the U.S. The name was translated into English and then back again. But in both countries, you'll see similar signs of celebration, like skull-shaped candy, playful skeletons, decorated altars, or face painting like on Moby here. In Mexican tradition, it's a time when the dead visit the world of the living. No, it's not like Halloween. I mean, yeah, both holidays include spirits of the dead. But on Dia de Muertos, they're not out for revenge or shaking you down for candy. They're ancestors, like grandparents or great-grandparents, or family friends, or even just famous faces. Once a year, they return to spend time with loved ones, like a big reunion. You'll see different traditions depending on where you are in Mexico. Some cities really blow it out with huge parades and festivals. But it's really a family holiday. The roots of the festival go back to at least the days of the Aztec Empire. Its people, the Mexica, ruled central Mexico starting around the 1300s. For them, death was just another phase of life, and the dead mixed with the living. Warriors who died in battle became flowers, hummingbirds, or monarch butterflies. But when regular folks died, their spirits had to make a difficult journey through the underworld, the land of the dead. Mourning their deaths was considered insulting, and tears made the path slippery. And they relied on their families for food, drink, and supplies along the way. The Aztecs celebrated the queen of the underworld every summer. There were parades, feasts, and shrines piled high with flowers, gifts, and food. Yeah, well, when the Spanish arrived in the 1500s, they didn't like this one bit. They were there to conquer the Americas, convert its people to Catholicism, and bring back mucho gold. So they set about wiping out Aztec religion, banning their gods, burning their sacred books, and outlawing their religious holidays, which the Spanish considered barbaric. But the two cultures had way more in common than the Spanish wanted to believe. Where the Mexica had many gods, the Spanish had many saints, which they celebrated on All Saints' Day, November 1st. And on November 2nd, they celebrated a Christian holiday called All Souls' Day. It was a time to remember and pray for those who had died, with parades, feasts, and shrines piled high with flowers, gifts, and food. Sound familiar? So instead of disappearing, the Aztec traditions just kind of rebranded. They moved to the fall and merged with the Catholic holidays. Dia de Muertos became a time to spruce up the family plot. Ofrendas, or altars piled with offerings, were built right into the cemetery. Families would spend the whole night there, while also eating, drinking, listening to mariachi music, and generally having a good time. These days, most Mexicans don't live close to the family cemetery, so it's easier to make the ofrendas at home. Well, the basic setup includes candles and Mexican marigolds, or cempasúchil. Both are there to attract spirits and guide them to the altar. Cempasúchil means flower of the dead in the Aztec language of Nahuatl. They're bright and super fragrant and have grown wild in central Mexico since Aztec times. But that's just the bare bones. There might also be copal incense, which Aztec temples used to purify the soul, or an arch of papel picado, traditional paper cutouts. This marks the doorway to the spirit world. Paper was sacred to the Aztecs, and they used tons of it in rituals. And front and center, in a place of honor, pictures of the family's loved ones. Ofrendas should include their favorite things, like foods or reminders of their hobbies, even sports teams. These personal items help the spirits feel at home. For the living, there are traditional dishes made just for Dia de Muertos. Pan de Muertos, or bread of the dead, are glazed sweet rolls with a design of crossed bones on top. And calaveritas, or little skulls, are decorated sugar skulls. They're given to little kids with their names written on top. Calaveras, or skulls, are also the name of a kind of poem friends exchange on the holiday. They're like epitaphs, words written about someone after they die. But they're playful. You're supposed to tease your friends a little in them. There once was a nerdoid named Tim. Moving on. You may see a lot of this lady. La Calavera Catrina is like the symbol of Dia de Muertos. Skulls were a big part of Aztec festivals and everyday colonial Mexican life. In the 1800s, cemeteries would display real skulls on shelves. They actually had to do that because the grave sites were getting overcrowded. So a few years after burial, skeletons would be dug up to make room. Hey, I told you, it's not a scary holiday.
All right, how do you like that? Now that you know the history behind this, how many other countries in the world you think does something very similar to this? Anybody? Any other country?
Every country.
Every country you think? Tell me.
Not every country.
Does Burma do it? No. In fact, we do something very similar, but we'll talk about that.
China does it.
China does it. How many of you are Chinese ancestry? Raise your hand.
I'm Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Mandarin, Cantonese, whatever.
A lot of you guys have Chinese blood in you, right? So how many of you know about how Chinese do this?
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything? Who knows it? You guys, a lot of you guys do it at home.
Oh, is it like
Wait,
maybe like
no,
a
I
challenge?
don't
Like you throw papers into like fire.
Right, right. So
Or like
it's the same
$1
thing.
bunnies and some.
So let's talk about that. So
Oh, that's it.
Tim and Moby talk about all same day, right? So what happened is that all those are very old cultures. But once Christianity came on board, they want to change that. Oh, we don't believe in all these superstitions. So change that to All Saints' Day, but they do the same thing. Right? So now today, if you're a Catholic, you're not supposed to believe in those stuff. So you're supposed to believe in only All Saints' Day. So all the Catholics changed that, but they pretty much do the same thing. Now this is what they do in Sweden, the same thing. Okay? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Alla helgons
How
dag.
do you pronounce it? That's in Sweden. Okay? Next slide. Now this is an island. Okay? I know how to pronounce it. It's actually pronounced like Solon. Okay? So yeah, that's actually Halloween is thought to be started from Ireland. Okay? Next. What about Korea?
Food.
Yeah, I don't know how to. Some of you like Korean.
Too sick.
Kai, how would you pronounce that? You like Korean.
You
movies.
listen to so many Koreans.
Okay. So next. Oh, China. Look at this. How many of you go to the cemetery of your ancestor and pray? Okay.
None of
Yeah, your
our
parents
ancestors live in America.
Right? So the Chinese do that. Right? Next.
Mine are in all. Mine all.
What about Vietnam?
Tetrang
They
Yun.
do the same thing. Next. Nepal.
Gai Jatra.
Yeah, like Jatra. Okay, they do that. Next. Japan.
This is beautiful.
They do that in this country too. So you can find Ubon Festival. When we lived in Lodi, Lodi has a Japanese temple, and they do this Ubon Festival every year. This is the design that they painted. The same thing like Mexicans do. These represent the dead. Next. Taiwan. They have Ghost Mountain. And same as Singapore. Okay? Next.
Mulan, yeah.
So you guys watch this movie, right? Who's this?
Mulan.
How many of you haven't watched Mulan? Everybody watched Mulan, right? Oh, you guys haven't watched Mulan? No?
There's a real life one coming.
No, I'm talking about cartoon one. No? Okay, so I'll show you a little piece of the Mulan, what they do.
Oh wait, no, that's not Mulan. That's my bad.
You can't skip this ad. You can skip adding detergent. Fill once and wash up to 40 loads. And select portable washers for go-to-go dispensing.
Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
I don't know what happened.
It does it all the time, pretty much. Tay, he got it. Baby, but you just got it though.
It's coming, but
Technical difficulties. Yay!
so if you remember Mulan, what was she doing?
She dressed up like a boy.
She dressed up like, no, I'm talking about concerning her ancestors. What did she do?
Oh.
For those of you who watched Mulan,
That's where she met. She first met the dragon boy.
she first met the dragon boy. You guys don't remember?
I know like the ancestors.
40 loads.
It was a long time ago.
Go dispenser.
the most powerful of all. Okay, I get the drift. I'll go. What do you think I can do? What's this here? Jump back, I'm pretty high, huh? Well, maybe I have to say nobody proved no point. You had your chance to protect the Peta family.
Your misguidance led Fontaine to disaster.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And your point is? The point is, we will be sending a real dragon to retrieve Mulan. What? I'm a real dragon! You are not worthy of this pot. Now, awaken the great stone dragon. So you get that to me on the job, then?
Alright. How many of you think that this is real?
What do you mean? Like, what's real?
Meaning, you can wake up your ancestors and ask them for their help. How many of you think that is real? Raise your
I
hand.
mean, they're always awake, but you know.
I raise my hand. It is real. Why? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? So, we'll move on a little bit and we'll talk about it at the end. So what else do they do in China or Taiwan or Singapore or these Chinese country or Vietnam? What do they do?
They
What are
burn.
these pieces of papers?
They're prayers. Money.
They are fake money. What are they doing? What do they believe in?
Okay,
Pretta.
so we normally do this at home, like me and my parents. We have this fake money type of thing, and we burn it.
Right, but why do you do that? What is your intention of doing it? Why do you burn fake money?
Attachment.
No, not that. Thomas?
To have generosity, so like to buy stuff.
But that's a fake money though. You can't buy anything with fake money. But why would you burn it? What's your idea of burning it?
Spirit world, because for us, our family shows like $1 million, which I wish they were real.
Okay. Alright, so Thomas is right. So the intention of burning fake money is, even though you cannot use it here, they think that in afterlife or when your ancestors are, you can use it. So not only they burn fake money, what else do they burn?
Colored paper
Food.
for clothes.
Clothes? What else?
These aren't even burn food, these have to burn up paper.
They burn anything. They burn Mercedes, house,
Humans? They're
everything. You see, they buy like, I don't know what kind of Lexus maybe. They burn all these big houses and everything. Because their idea is, if your ancestor die in next life, they're poor. When you burn these stuff, they get it. So that's what Chinese believe in. Okay? Singaporean believe in. So if you go to China or Singapore during that month, you can even see the sky because they burn so much of these that it's all filled with smoke.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
But isn't that very unhealthy for the ancestors?
Very
I mean,
good
like, aren't you
question.
really
Very
killing
good
them
question.
instead of doing stuff?
So what do you think? What do you think your ancestor will get it?
No, not really.
Not really?
Environmental pollution.
No.
Okay, that's a good question for your parents to answer your question, right?
Mommy.
So, hey mom, why are you burning all this stuff? Is my grandfather going to get it? Or are you just wasting your money? Did you ever ask that question?
No.
Why not?
We burn
You're afraid that they'll be yelling at you?
Because I didn't even think about it.
You never thought about it. Now that you're thinking about it, you think you will be able to ask them?
Does Monopoly money count?
Yeah, so I think one of your parents wants to answer that question. Go ahead.
When I was here, I asked my dad, why
Guys?
do you have to do that? You know? So I asked him, just why we have to, just why do we have to do that? It's tradition. Just that.
Okay. Alright. So I will give you the answer a little later, okay? Let's continue so that you have that little suspense in you. Yeah? So now, how do we look at Halloween from the Buddhist standpoint? How do we look at it from the Burmese traditional standpoint? Okay?
Weird.
So this look like Halloween or Day of the Dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see all these Buddhist pictures here?
The 5 Buddha.
Why? Why are these existing? Okay, I'll show you next picture.
Because they're all dead.
Oh, now,
But they're not dead.
now let me ask you this question. So Mexicans and Chinese put their parents' picture after they died on an altar. But Burmese, Buddhist, yes, this is my dad, is dead. My mother's still alive. That's my father-in-law, who actually was here. He left. My mother-in-law is still alive. I put her on the altar. They're not dead yet. What's the difference? What do you learn from this? So Mexicans and Chinese and a lot of other cultures, they put pictures of their deceased on the altar only after they die. But we do it even before they die. Why is that? Yes, Eddie.
Is it because for respect, number one, and to show that they're higher than you?
Okay, so you respect them and they are higher than you. What else?
Their powers are everywhere and everywhere no matter what.
Their powers are everywhere. Okay. Yes,
It's
Leah.
like what Yeti said, but it's possible for them to get meritorious deeds and go up higher ramps.
Possible to get meritorious deeds.
Go up higher ramps?
Round.
So, for example, let me give you this example. Let's say when my father was alive, I don't care about my dad. I was not respectful to him. Only after he died, I put his picture on the altar and bow down to him 1,000,000 times a day. Will it give me anything?
No.
Nothing. So we as Burmese Buddhists, what we do is we pay respect to our parents every day. So we celebrate Halloween or Day of the Dead every day. Because you're going to keep your parents, Buddha said, at the same level as him. Okay? So that's the difference. We pay respect to our parents every moment, right now. Not like Chinese, they do it, or not like Mexican, they do it after parents are dead. Right? Once they are dead, they are dead. Yes, Leanne?
How do you celebrate Halloween every day exactly?
In your heart.
Like, do we get candy every day?
No.
Yes, you may. Actually, you are the one eating candy all the time, every day. Alright, next slide. Alright, so, since we haven't learned about Mangala Sutra, what does Mangala Sutra say? Does Mangala Sutra say that you pay respect to your parents only after they die?
No.
No. What does Mangala Sutra say? Thomas.
Hold on, how come parents don't get candy then?
You're focused on candy. So what does Mangala Sutra say about parents? Josh?
No,
You're just question? Yes.
to honor them.
To honor them. How often?
On
Always. Good job.
No,
Always.
when they are worthy of honor.
All right. So why don't we recite Mangala Sutra now?
Should be.
Let's all together.
Lumai so yin xiang dui lue lu ma mi wei ne gi ao ne bin ya xi guo an xie dui lu mi wei xi gan mi yu zhe dong ba ye na mi ba mian ne xia de ma go bu zo le chan da go bei san san ye miao gui dong che bei with fools to associate with the wise and to honor those who are worthy of honor. This is the highest blessing.
So Mangala Sutra teach us to pay respect to your parents, right here, together at the same level with the three jewels. Now Buddha said, if you don't believe in me, you don't have to bow down to me, but respect your parents. Okay? So it doesn't matter whether you are a Buddhist or not. Even if you don't believe in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you should believe in this, meaning paying respect to your parents. Okay? So the difference is, a lot of other culture, we respect to their parents after they die. We pay respect to our parents every day, every moment. That's why every day after we meditate, what do? We bow down to our parents and grandparents, right? So we are basically celebrating that every day, right? Okay. So what else Bingla Sutta say about something similar to Halloween or the Day of the Dead? So over here. So the Day of the Dead is not only about their parents. Everybody in your family who died, right? They put it on the altar.
Isn't that a lot?
Right? So now, Bingla Sutta says the same thing. So here, can you guys recite this together? Go back.
This is the highest blessing.
So Bingla Sutta said not only your parents, but also you need to support who? Your relatives, right? So whereas Mexicans will put the picture of their deceased friends and families and relatives on the altar, but we are to respect and help not only our parents, but also our relatives. Yes, Edie?
So if you put every person in your family who's dead, wouldn't that be a lot of pictures?
Yeah, that's what a lot of Mexicans do.
Like
Don't you
every
see?
single,
Yes, they do actually.
the whole
So
family.
you can actually Google it. Some of the altar is filled with the whole wall. They have small pictures of everybody. It's a beautiful tradition, right? So I love it too. But the thing is, for us, we do it differently. We actually pay respect and help our parents and relatives every moment, not only once a year. Okay? Next. All right. Now,
Nice mouse.
what is this?
A
Now,
circle.
where do we go when we die? So, this is very much related to what the Day of the Dead believe in too, and what we believe in as Buddhists too. Who want to tell me what this is? Anybody? Thomas. Samsara? What else? Yadi?
Isn't that all the 31 realms?
31 rounds in there? Yes. What else? Leanne, you raise your hand. Okay, Kenneth. Buddha in the background. Okay, so Buddha in the background right here. Okay. What else? What else show you? Come on, you guys know this. Look at it one at a time. Yadi.
Skulls up there.
The skulls up there. Okay, what do they represent? Now, you guys forgot what I taught you. What do you see here in the middle?
And
What animals?
oh, the rooster, the boar, and the snake.
So what is this?
It looks like a horse from here.
Pig.
Pig.
What is this?
Pig.
Pig. What does it represent?
Delusion.
Moha or illusion. Snake represent what?
Dosa.
Anger.
Chicken.
The chicken represent?
Loba.
Loba or
It looks
greed,
like fire,
right?
a
So
snake,
then,
and a horse.
now, when you look at these big here, how many do you see?
5.
5. What do you think those are?
Ooh, 5.
5 Buddha. The 5 Buddhas? No, that's the wrong answer. Thomas? The seasons? No.
I'm doubting my guess.
Ready?
Isn't it the 5 lower realms?
5 lower realms.
Or
So
4, whatever.
these represent realms. Okay? So there are 5. Now, let me give you some. So what do you see mostly on here? I don't know whether it's clear or not. What do you see mostly on here?
Animals.
Yeah, animals. So this is the animal kingdom. Right? What do you see here?
Hungry ghost?
Ghost?
Hell.
Hell.
I can't see anything.
Right? Hell. What is this?
Cold.
No, what's that?
It's cold.
Hungry ghosts, right? So hell, hungry ghosts, animals. What do you think these are? Human, and these are?
Demons.
No, devas. Right? So
My bad.
these are the 5 realms. Right? Now, yes, Ted?
Why is there like a Buddha in every picture?
Buddha is watching over them.
Oh.
Okay? Now, what about these outer circles? Who want to guess outer circles? Thomas.
The first, like the highest round,
No.
The 9.
No. Yeti?
Wouldn't that be like samsara?
Samsara? Okay. What is that? You guys know it. Very well. Good. 12 links of dependent origination is here, outside circle. Okay? So this is 12 links of dependent origination. The 5 realms, Lova, Dosa, Moha. Now who's this guy?
A bear?
Who's this guy?
A bear.
Karma.
Lord.
A dragon, a bear. Buddha's pet.
So
Oh yeah, I know.
he is the one.
Naga.
When we die, okay, a lot of people believe that he actually make a judgment where you go.
Ooh,
But that's not what
dang.
real Buddhists we believe in. But the Mahayana believe in that. So this picture is not used in Theravada Buddhism or where we practice in Burma. Okay, but this picture represents from like Japan, China, Korea. So that's what they believe in. Okay? But the important thing is the full concept is here. The 12 links of dependent origination, Loba, Dosa, Moha, and the 5 realms. Okay? How many of you really remember the 12 links of dependent origination meaning? I know you guys are reciting every night. How many of you really remember the actual meaning of these 12 links of dependent origination?
Some.
You know some?
I know some.
Okay.
Not in order.
Alright.
What's the
Okay.
inner circle?
So this is the inner circle.
No.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will teach you later. There is inner circle too. You're right.
Circle of
Next slide.
life.
So now that represents 31 realms, right? So if you remember, what are these? This is hell. This is animal kingdom.
Hungry ghost.
Hungry ghost.
Demons.
Demons. And we are here, right? Now, let's go back to the Day of the Dead and what Chinese burn their incense and fake money and cars, this and that. So, why do they do that? Why do you think they do that, and what realm do they usually go to? Do you guys know? Peta. Hungry ghosts, right? A lot of Chinese,
Oh, I know this is where it's going.
when they die, they go to this realm. Is it good?
No.
No. But why? Why do they like this realm?
Because you get more stuff.
You have more stuff? Yes.
Because they're greedy for it.
Good. Because they're greedy. So in Buddhism, there is a good saying. If you die, the moment that you die, if you are angry, where do you go?
Hell.
You go to hell. Okay? You go down. So the very moment that you die is the most important thing. No matter how much good deeds I have done in my whole life, that may not be the one that drives me where I go. What drives me where I go is the last moment in my mind. What happened? Okay? So, there's a very good example in Buddhism. Okay? The king Ashoka. You guys know that, right? The king Ashoka donated a lot of stuff to Buddha. He spread Buddhism all over the world. Almost all the historic pagodas in Burma are built by him. In fact, the Buddhism spread to Burma because of him. He donated a lot of money. He built a lot of stupas and pagodas. When he died, what do you think happened?
He was angry.
He was angry and he became a snake.
Naga
Okay.
or snake?
So, no, not Naga. The regular snake. Because he was angry.
Why?
Why? Because he was a king and he was dying. He was asking for food, but at that time his power is going down and nobody offered him food and water, and suddenly he was angry, and that moment he died. Okay? So, now the same thing, when you're angry, you go to hell. When you're greedy, you go to hungry ghost. What about when you're in delusion?
You go to animal.
You become animals. Right? So that's why the moment that we die is very important. Okay? You don't want to die with any of those three poisons. You don't want to die with lobha. You don't want to die with moha. You don't want to die with dosa either. Now, a lot of Chinese or a lot of those Zen Buddhist people, when they die, they go to this world. Why is that? So we are sad because they die with greed. That's one thing. What else?
When they die, they think of like something that they should have regretted, and they should have done this so they can get more of that.
Okay. Fairly close. Yes. Ted.
They think about their loved ones like their son or their daughter.
Right.
They become the protector.
Very good. That's correct. So tradition tell you that if I die, I need to take care of my kids. So what happened to my mind? Oh, gosh, Ted. Oh, he is dating that bad girl. Oh my goodness. So suddenly I die. What will happen? I'll be a Peta going around Ted. Right? Oh gosh, Wian, he is just playing that stupid video games. Right?
I know.
Now I become this because I can go away. I am attached to my family. So that's what happened. Now another thing is not only that, the Chinese, what happens? They give you a place. Not only that, they give you a lot of food once a year. Now your tradition also push you to go that way. So before I die, I think, oh, after I die, they'll put my picture on the altar. Okay, once a year they'll give me a lot of alcohol and big chicken and pig and all these nice foods.
That's
instant
greed.
steak.
In Minecraft.
Right, that's the reason why when I die, I will get this. Right, so that your tradition also push you to that way.
So
Now, which is good also because I can worship a Ted. Oh, Ted's doing a good job. Oh, it is not bad.
Oh, come on.
Right? So that's why if you're a real Buddhist, we don't recommend that. Okay? But a lot of people still do it. Chinese, big thing. Okay? A lot of us. Okay? My wife was doing it till several years ago. She stopped doing it.
She stopped doing what?
Right?
Oh.
So
That's nice.
that's what happens.
Say that.
Okay?
Like, wow, that's so
Oh, okay. So actually, I should show you this. So this
What
is
is
that picture, but I took off all these other unimportant animals and pictures. So you see, here's hell. So you have 3 points in the middle, and you have animal ram. You go to hell, or you go to hungry ghost, or Peta, or you're reborn as human, or asura or demigod, or you go to Abara.
Why
Right?
do you say
So these are the destination before you get to Nirvana. Nirvana, you're going to break free from this, right? But before we get to Nirvana, after you die, you're going to go to one of these runs. Either you become human again, or you become a hungry ghost, Peta, you go to hell, or you become animal, you go to demigods or heaven. Right? For example, if my daughter Yeti dies, she probably will become an animal because she has so much delusion.
Yeah, that's very true.
Right? She sleeps all the time.
I am trying, okay?
So,
And you slept a long time.
but
That's really true.
if I died a long time ago, I used to be really angry. I would have been to hell. Hopefully, I'm a little better now.
You are.
Hopefully, I will not go to hell. Okay? For those of you who are angry all the time, throwing temper tantrum, stomping your feet, yelling at your parents, what will happen to you when you die now? You're going to go to hell. So you better change it now. Okay? Right? So you don't want to definitely go to hell. Hell is, oh my goodness, a lot of suffering. Right? Now, because we're talking about Halloween, we're not going to talk about others. We're going to talk a little bit more about the hungry ghost. What did Buddha say about hungry ghosts?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you said hopefully you won't be going to hell. That means you're actually greed. That means probably like greed, maybe.
Maybe yes, definitely. I am greedy right now because I'm working. I'm trying to make a lot of money for my 3 kids. So yes, I am greedy. So and I worry about them. So right now, if I die right now, what do you think will happen to me?
Hungry fools.
I will go back to the
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to protect your kids too much. Even taekwondo, karate.
Pepe. Papa.
All right. So that's
Papa.
next.
Papa.
Oh yeah, you have a question. Yeah.
If you don't have to go back. But so for the demigod thing, it's not like the one of Percy Jackson where your mother or father is a god, right?
No. So if I have time today or next time, I'll tell you a little bit more about demigods too. Okay. In fact, some of the demigods are part of Peta too. There are different types of demigods. Demigods can be close to Deva, okay, or they can be in Peta world too. So demigod has different ranges. Okay. Yes, sir. No.
What's a demigod?
Oh, demigod. Okay, let's go back. So here, these are called Asura. So demigods are between the hungry ghosts and the lower realm devas. Some of the demigods are higher than humans, some are lower than humans. Okay? So these demigods could be very close to hungry ghosts, or they could be close to deva. Okay? Right. Yes, please.
Demigod exists, and that means gods exist too.
No.
Not gods.
So
Demigods, gods.
a lot of religion believe in demigods as gods. Okay? So
There's a
we
reason why
will
they're called
teach you
demi.
about that later. So let's focus on the hungry ghosts this time because we're talking about Halloween and Day of the Dead.
Peta.
Alright, so we call it Peta, okay? And also spelled in Pretta. So that's when you die with greed, you go to this one. Okay? Next.
Peta.
Now,
Hunger Games.
Buddha preached a lot about this run. A lot of stories in Buddhist preaching. Now, this is a very good book. And this book talks about, here in Burmese, those of you who can read, it's called Peta with two, meaning Peta. All about the story about hungry ghosts. There are so many, there are hundreds of them. And also, some pronounce Vimana, some Vimana. It's about going to the higher realm. So Vimana is about people who did good deeds and they want to the upper realm, the Deva realm. And this is about Peta, which is about those who actually did the bad thing and want to lower realm. Very good book. Okay?
Is there an English version?
There are some, I'll tell you. Okay? Alright, next. Now we're going to learn a little bit about Shinsariputra. How many of you know Shinsariputra? Did he? No, I'm going to ask Williams. Those of you who want to have Mumbai should know, because you guys learned a little bit of this.
No, well, it was like, there are specific levels.
Only your
There are
class?
specific,
Okay,
no,
alright.
there are specific classes.
Specific class. Okay, all right. Yes.
So he was one of Buddha's greatest disciples,
Very good.
and he was known as the most knowledgeable one.
Very good. So who's the other one, by the way?
Machine Carla.
Mokulana.
Magdalena, right? So Buddha has two greatest disciples, Magdalena and Shinsariputra. Okay? So most knowledgeable and Magdalena is most powerful. All the supernatural power after Buddha, he is the best one. Okay? So now Shinsariputra, after he became Arahant, one day he met a hanged ghost. Hanged ghost came to him and said that I was your mother 5 lives ago. Not his current life mother, okay? 5 lives ago, that was his mother.
Wait, how do they know that? How did they know that then?
Buddha knows it.
No, but I mean, like, how did the hungry ghost know it? Because they're a lower realm and everything.
No, some of those they have some memory, because remember I told you this. Some runs they live very long. Okay, so if I live too long, will I know about past 200 years? Let's say I'm a 1,000-year-old guy. Okay, if you ask me about 500 years ago, will I know it? Yeah. So some people really, even though they're lower run, they have memory of those. Okay. So one day, Shin Sariputra was walking, and this hungry ghost came, suffering, asking for food. So what do you think the Shin Sariputra did?
He gave food.
He gave food, and what happened?
It
Could she eat?
No.
No, she couldn't eat. As soon as she touched the food, food became fire. Okay? So, next. So, he went to Buddha. He didn't know what to do. He wanted to help. Not only that, he saw a lot of others just like that. Right? So, he went to Buddha. Hey, Buddha, I want to help my mom from past life. And all the others who are suffering. And I couldn't help. I tried to give food, and every time I give food, these food turn into fires. Pus, blood, nasty stuff. What happened? Then Buddha actually preached a lot of those stories. Okay? So, what do you think Buddha preached? What do you think Buddha told him to do?
I think Buddha preached how, like, what happened to the hungry ghosts and what made the hungry ghosts to be what they are now.
Good. So Buddha actually taught all the disciples about how hungry ghosts became. Okay? What they did before. So what do you think she did to resolve this? Greed. Good. Greedy about something. Okay. So the story was, when she was human, she had a husband who was very faithful to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Prior Buddha. Okay? Not this Gautama Buddha. Now her husband was donating a lot of food, but she was very stingy. So one day husband left for a trip. So husband told her, hey, when I'm away, take care of all the monks. I have food and money for you. Donate those. She was so greedy. To begin with, she never wanted to donate, but because that was her husband, she didn't say a thing. Now the husband's gone, what did she do?
She just spent it on her own.
She stopped donating. Not only that, she actually said bad things about all these monks. Now after she died, that's what happened. So now that he knows, what do you think Buddha told him to change that? Can we save her?
No. Yeah.
Yes, we can. So that's how, in fact, your parents burn those fake money. But the problem is, that's not how it works. Okay, that's not what Buddha said. But we as Burmese Buddhists actually do the right thing, what Buddha exactly said. Okay, that's what I'm going to teach you today. How do we do that? So, my kids, listen very carefully. In case if I ever become a painter, do that.
Dude, wait, no, but you're not going to be
next
going
slide.
like that.
So,
Yeah, I know.
No, why would you?
so, I'm sure most of you will not be able to read this, but this is from that book that I just showed you about this Shin Sariputra and his mother. Okay? So, here it said, one day Shin Sariputra saw that lady who is really very skinny and emaciated and very hungry. And she said, I was your mother before. Now, look, what does she eat? She eats snot, saliva, that people throw well, people, those are things that she can eat all. No food. Okay? She eats blood from people body, snot. So, what does she say? What does Buddha say? So Buddha said, what you need to do is, you can do good deeds, donation to other monks. Okay? And once after you get that good energy, the positive energy, you can send it to your mother. And your mother has to acknowledge that, willing to take it, and say sadhu. Only then she will get that positive energy. Okay? Buddha didn't talk anything about burning fake money or fake houses. But now, fake money, fake houses, it works only in that Peta Ramda. Among each other, they can trade those stuff, but they will never be liberated then, because you are supporting them, you are still feeding them every year, and your ancestors love it too. Okay, you have a little place, or at the cemetery, or at your home, or somewhere, so they live in there, waiting for you to give them food once a year. That's very mean of you, because you eat every day and you feed them only once a year. Right? So we don't recommend doing that. Instead, what we recommend is you do all the good deeds and you send that deeds to them. If they hear you, if they say sadhu, 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 they get that. That's exactly what Buddha preached. That's exactly what Shinsariputta did for his mother. Okay? Next slide. So for those of you who are interested about these drums, your parents can buy a book about that two drums.
Wait, is this the Burmese version or the English version?
I'll tell you. This book is in Burmese though. I'll give you some English books too. So, parents, if you don't know much about 31 rounds, read this book, very good. And it explains in very simple Burmese language, not in Pali at all, and explain about different rounds. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's like also bringing it back from like beginning of today, like after we share merits and stuff, we like ring that bell, and it's like to wake up. Like when you hear that bell, it like wakes you up and brings you back to awareness, and then you can share like merits, and then chant sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. But like it also vibrates energy into like the air in different realms. So like not only like we're sharing merits with each other, but like also beings from like different realms can like share merits, or like listen to you sharing merits also. Is that right?
That's correct. That's very correct. So in Burma, it's a culture that when you hear cheesy or this bell that we ring, whenever you hear, some positive thing is happening. Okay? So that energy is spreading. So when you hear that bell, okay, now you just say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that positive energy, you own it now. Yes, Adrian?
But then you know, like in Burma, where they have those gongs like out there in the middle of nowhere, because like when we were young, we just used to ring it without praying. But, like I mean, like so
right.
Good.
So because as a kid you didn't know. Now that you do, nothing's wrong with that, and there's no negative energy doing that. It's beautiful to hear, but the culture is you do some positive deeds, whatever it is, whether it's a donation or meditation, anything, any good deeds. After that, you gotta spread it out and give it to others. Whoever says sadhu, sadhu, sadhu 3 times and accept it, they get exactly as you are, exactly as you get it. Okay? So that's why. And on the other hand, remember, everything in life is vibration. Now, when you say something, that's also a vibration. When you send your loving kindness, when you send all your positive energy, good deeds, that's also vibration. Now you want to push it out because your vibration doesn't go that far. Now the vibration coming from this actually push it even farther. Okay? So that's what your teacher is saying. So now ask your parents to read this book for you and explain to you. And also online there are other books. So like for example, this one talk about when you break third precept. What is third precept?
No misconduct.
Sexual misconduct, right? If you sleep with someone's wife or husband, and that's what happens. So when you die, you become
Fat.
Pretta. Okay? You become hungry ghost, right? Next. Now, we haven't learned about King Bimbisara, right? Now, you guys know about King Bimbisara now? Because we haven't learned about that lady. Now, King Bimbisara relatives were hungry ghosts, a lot of them. So let me tell you the story. And you guys can read the book in English too. I have given you the link, but let me tell you the story. Do you have time or are we late?
It's fine.
It's fine? Okay. So, what came to Bimbisara before his son took over, right? He was the king. You guys know the story now, right?
Yeah.
About, what's his son's name? Adadashuru, right? So, before his son took over, when he was the king, he was paying respect to a lot of Sangha and Buddha himself. Now one day, he was narrated, and he forgot to send his merit or his positive energy to others. So what happened is, the same night, the hungry ghosts from his past life were waiting for him to send that to them. They waited for the whole couples, meaning many years from prior Buddha. Okay? Now, they know that this Buddha, he will send this positive energy and they will be liberated from this realm. Okay? But unfortunately, the king forgot to send it to them. So the same night, what they did is they banged all the door of the palace. They made a lot of very threatening voices that nobody could sleep. Okay? Now, so what happened is that they went to the king, and the king himself heard it too. So he went to Buddha and asked, "Hey, what happened? This has happened." So Buddha said, "Well, that's because you are supposed to send to them, you did not. So they need it." So the king said, "Okay, what do I do?" "Well, you're going to do the same thing again, and this time you send it to them." And he did that. Now, they said sadhu, 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 and they got liberated from this one. Okay? Now, that's the reason why every time after we pray every night, what are our prayers? What are our aspirations? So, idam iponya, is for yourself. What is after that? What do we say after? Right? Tapatadana means all the beings. You send to all the beings. Now, what is after that? Idobuya, Yabonya, Yamchanya, Ishi, Bimani, Di, Swimi, Tochao, Lama, Gaupe, Yabalo, Toto, Chinle, Yale, Doga, Vida, Yamaba, Macau, Hudamia, Maduya, Betaba, Esa, Minglago, Yega, Raya, Sedo, Bibudamia. So, it means you send in the good deed or good energy you just made to your parents. Your parents may be alive or dead. Okay? For example, my father's dad, but I sent it to him. Why? In case if he is in that realm, and if he hear it, he can say sadhu, 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 and he will be liberated.
Liberated right away?
Liberated to where?
He will be liberated to his good energy.
Wait,
so
right
remember,
away.
in life, we all do positive energy, positive and negative, and unfortunately, suddenly when I die, let's say I do a lot of positive energy, but I have some negative energy too. But when I die, I was thinking about that, now I become a hungry ghost, right? So, one to do some good deeds and say, and I hear it and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now I liberated from that hungry ghost wrong. Where do I go? Now at that moment, all my positive energy will come back in and I will go back to either human realm or upper demon realm.
Wait,
right?
Do you get like liberated right away, or do you have
yes,
to wait?
right away. Instantly like this. Okay? So, that's what Bimbisara did for his relative. Okay? So, if you want to read, click on this link for me. So, you can read in English and in Burmese both.
Microsoft PowerPoint has stopped working. Windows can only receive your information.
There
we go. Wait, what the shoe?
I don't know.
More technical difficulties.
Every time we just
So these stories, most of these stories are from the book that I show you. Okay, but the book that I show you is from the Buddha preaching. Now they kind of abridge it a little bit so that you guys can read lightly both in English and Burmese. So if you go to that Saparami website, and there are several books. So those will be nice, like Halloween Day tonight or tomorrow, or Halloween Day night that you read with your parents, and about all these hungry ghosts that actually came from Buddhist scriptures. Okay?
Why is he smiling?
Who?
It's a she, by the way.
He doesn't know, right?
She.
Is that a she? Because remember your ancestor, Mulan. Are they happy? They were happy. Mulan ancestors are happy, right? They're happy that they're taking care of their great-great-great-granddaughter.
The thing is, they're not happy that she messed up.
Right. So remember though, some of those people, they love to be in that wrong because they just don't know. Yes, they do suffer, but they don't want to be liberated. That's why some they want to say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Some they won't. They hear you, but they don't say it. They don't say sadhu because they don't want to be liberated. They love it. Let's say, for example, if I am touched so much to Ted and I suddenly die, even if my wife say good things and Pom Pom said, hey, say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. No, I want to take care of my son. Then I will never be liberated. Right? I might change my mind and after he died, then say, okay, my son is dead now, I might want to be liberated, or maybe this time I'll go to Yeti and stay be a hungry ghost. Right? So
But you're just pretty old.
so don't think that every Peta wants to be liberated. Not all. Some in the lower realm, they're happy. For example, do you think all the animals were like, oh, I don't want to be an animal, I just want to die? No. Animals, they love their self too. Right? There's a very good story that Buddha preached too. So once there was a king and a queen. Okay? They loved each other so much. One day the queen died. Okay? The king kept on crying and crying. The king kept the body of the queen preserved. Okay? And after several months, all the other people are becoming really frustrated. Man, the king doesn't walk, he doesn't do a thing, he is just next to that body. So they asked Buddha to help. So then Buddha looked at it, what happened to the queen? Now the queen, now it's a beetle. So the king called that beetle, so the beetle came, the Buddha called the beetle came, and now Buddha made heart talk. So say, hey, who are you? She said, I was the queen right there. My dead body right there. So the king is, wow. Okay? Now,
Wow.
so the Buddha said, now, what are you doing? Are you enjoying your current life? Yes. Why do you enjoy your current life? I have a husband. You said, a beetle, a male beetle. I have a husband. So the king said, I love you so much. And what happened to you now? So she said, oh dear king, yes, I loved you at that time, but now I have a husband. So now the king said, okay, now tell me, who do you love more, me or your current husband? She said, I'm sorry, king, I love my husband more. You know what the king did? The king said, that dolphin, now get out of here. Right? Now, so my point is, even though you end up in the lower realm, if you don't understand, you may not want to leave that realm. Those are I didn't make those up, okay? These are the preachings of Buddha. Right? So, you're going to be very careful of what you wish. So a lot of us say, oh, I love you, Yadi, you're my daughter. I want to be with you every life. So what if?
Apparently she looks like Mario.
All right. Well, or you want to talk about your boyfriend or girlfriend. Those are the bad things that you will wish for, right? So a lot of us say, oh yeah, if you die and I want to be with you. If you become a bird, I will become a bird, right? Those are bad things. Because look at this. Look at the example of Buddha. So now there are a lot of stories in this book. So if you're interested, especially weekends, holiday, Halloween, read those with your parents or read yourself. You can download these. These are free.
Can we see that hammer?
Yes, you see what hammer? Which one? Oh, that hammer down there? Oh, mommy already skipped that. You will read that at home. Oh, sorry. What happened?
And
No. All right. Now, I want to tell you something about this. This is also preached by Buddha. Okay? So, in fact, this is Moggallana. Shema Moggallana, he went to one round and saw a beautiful angel during the daytime. Has a lot of mates. She had 500 mates. Okay? Now, nighttime came, this big black dog came and ate her alive. Next morning, she woke up as an angel. She enjoyed all these luxurious stuff. So we call it luxury by day and torture by night. Now, why does that happen? What do you think?
She did good things in the day, but bad things at the night.
Good. So not exactly like that, but that's right. So she did good things and the bad things. So now you go to this round where you enjoy life during the night, during the day, and during the night you suffer. Okay? So you want to hear about what she did?
What did she do?
So what she did was, she was a very good lady. She was donating to the monks and meditating quite a lot. So she had other 500 friends who meditate with her and donate to the monks. There was a group of bad guys who are drunken, alcoholic. So there was a bet between those alcoholics. Hey, look, if any one of you can get her love, by the way, she's married, she had her husband. If any one of you go get her love and sleep with her, I'll give you $1 million. Well, at that time, their money. So one of the drunkard tried. So many different ways. So eventually, she fell for it. Okay? They fell in love with that drunkard, and she slept with him. Now, her husband got those news, and her husband asked her, hey, I heard that you're having an affair with that drunkard in the village. Is that true? She lied. She said, nope. I swear to God, I swear this, I swear that. By the way, that's why in Buddhism, in Burmese culture, you are not supposed to swear. Okay? So you guys are very good at, oh, I swear to God, I swear to this. Do not do that. Okay? So she swear that, no, that's not true. I'm not having any affair with anyone. If you don't believe me, ask all these other 499 of my friends. So all the other, they also lying to the husband. No. Your wife is a very good wife, and she doesn't do any of those. These guys drunkard, they just say whatever they want. Now, that's what happened. Because she did all the good deeds, donating to the monks and meditating, she became an angel, and she got the luxury during the daytime together with her friends. Okay? But because she lied and she broke the third precept, and this is what happened.
Wait, did all the maids also get eaten by
Yes.
all the friends?
Yes, all the friends. Because they all lied. Okay? So, again, I didn't make it up, and this is clearly written in the preaching of Buddha. Okay? So, that's the reason why, even though, don't think, oh, I'm doing good thing. I meditate for 10, 15 minutes every night. I can lie a little bit. Don't do that. Okay? So, because that's what will happen. Okay?
Giant dog
Next.
gonna eat us alive?
Alright. So, this is very important. As a Burmese Buddhist or Theravada Buddhist, how do we do that? I just told you that doing like Chinese do, or Koreans, or Vietnamese, or Singaporean do is not recommended in Burmese Theravada Buddhism because it just doesn't work, right? In fact, you actually will prolong their suffering because they will love to be in that realm and they don't want to be liberated. So what do we do? What does Buddha recommend? What does Theravada Buddhism recommend? So Theravada Buddhism recommend that you're going to do donation, or you're going to do meditation, any good energy, then you're going to send it to that deceased or the dead one. So, but these are the elements or requirements of that. So number one, read that for me.
Donate must be the one with sila.
So whenever you donate something, okay, let's say I want to donate it for my dad, will it be effective if I go donate to a homeless guy on the street? No. It is a good energy, but that good energy is minuscule. I will not be able to send it to my dad in that, if it's in that handgo's life, right? So, but if I donate that to Pom Pom, will it be good? Yes. Because someone with a sila. What is sila, by the way? People who keep 5 precepts, right? So, it doesn't have to be Pom Pom. It can be anyone that you donate. It could be a homeless guy, but that homeless guy has sila. The 5 precepts. Keep the 5 precepts. That's good. Read number 2 for me.
The donor for the benefit of dead.
So if you donate, your heart has to really believe in it. Okay, this I intended for that person who died how many years ago. Or we say it by names, right? Let's say I do good deeds. I do donation. And if it is for my dad, I call, because my dad's name was Sila Wansa. He was a monk, he died as a monk. So I visualize his image, I see it, okay? It's coming from my heart. So you're going to have that kind of volition or season. Read number 3 for me.
Different types of goods.
Now this is what Chinese took. Different types of goods. So Buddha clearly said that you're going to donate different things. So Buddha said if you're going to donate to a monk, you may donate money, but at the time of Buddha, money is not allowed. So what they donate: food, clothing, robes, shoes, umbrella, so different set. So at the time Buddha said, donate different types of goods. So now the Chinese and all these Zen Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism took it as literally, and now they burn everything. Okay, I want my dad to get this big house and big Mercedes, and they buy that fake big Mercedes and they burn it. Okay, so that's what happened, but we don't do that. Okay.
What if they just get a fake one in return?
That'd be nice.
All right, read number 4 for me.
Donor must share good deeds to the dead. Transference of merits.
So I just can donate and don't send that positive energy. I'm gonna send it, right? So that's why we always say at the end of our prayers, so on and so forth. So when you donate something for the dead, for the deceased of your family, the monks will guide you how to do that. And our monks are really good at it. Okay? Now number 5.
Then must accept and say sadhu.
Well, even if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, but that relative of yours said, no, I don't want it. I'm happy where I am now. Will it work? No. They go to 1 or 2. They can, okay, I'm suffering here. I want to be liberated. I want to go back to human realm. I want to go to Deva realm, whatever realm. They have to really, really don't like all the current Peta life. And they're going to say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Only then they will be liberated. Now, these 5 things are very important in our Burmese Buddhism. Okay? So, that's why whenever you do any good deeds, any positive energy, you're going to do all of these. Alright? So, how many of you really do that at the end of every night after prayers? You just say, and most of your heart is asleep, right? So, do that from your heart, follow these. Okay? That way, you're multiplying your positive energy, and also people who want to say sadhu around you get that. Okay? Alright, we will finish song.
By the way, sometimes people even say that.
So, as a Buddhist, what is the mindset on Halloween? What are we supposed to do? So, yes, you can enjoy it. You can dress up whatever you want and you can go trick or treating. That's totally fine. But also, as a Buddhist, instead of looking at here, contemplate 32 body parts. You all know 32 body parts, right?
Yes.
So, instead of dressing up like all the skeleton dead body, what does Buddha teach us? 32 body parts. If you attach to your body or if you attach to opposite sex, practice this. So that's why we pray that every night, right? So basically we're practicing that Halloween every night when we contemplate 32 body parts. Every single one of you know 32 body parts by heart now, right?
Yeah.
Yes? No? So those of you who don't get it yet, please. Okay, when we recite it, listen carefully and try to repeat. Now, Marana no sati means Marana means death. No sati means contemplating on death. Meaning you could die, I can die on my way home now in next 30 minutes on the freeway with car accident. Right? So I need to be aware of that. It could happen to you too. So you're gonna, if you think about that, then you will have energy behind you to do good things. Right? So that's basically Marana Sati means you're gonna think, contemplate about that. I could die any moment. I gotta generate enough positive energy. Asubha means dead body meditation, like this monk. So the body just died and slowly it deteriorates, become a skeleton. So when you see a skeleton on Halloween today, you're going to imagine that it could be me. Right? When you die, you will become this too. So that's what we call Asubha meditation. And eventually, T Lakshana means, T means three, Lakshana means Anexa, Dukkha, Anatta, we call it. Anesha meaning nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent in life. Remember every day when we pray, every now and then I teach you about everything in life is impermanent, changing all the time and decaying all the time. That is Anesha. Dukkha means, what's the second noble truth? Dukkha, right? Dukkha, the first and second noble truth. So you're right, second is the Mudaya and first is Dukkha. Dukkha means our life has an unpleasant experience, right? Anatta means there's no such thing as I. We always want to talk about I all the time. But in fact, when you die, there's no such thing as I anymore. Right? So on the day of Halloween, as a Buddhist, yes, enjoy your Halloween, have a lot of candy, go around, have fun, but also you need to apply and contemplate this. That way, you will be celebrating Halloween as a Buddhist. Okay? Yes, Thomas?
Two things. On the first body,
He just died.
and then the second one.
Second one, what happened is that all the gas form in your body and your tummy become rises up.
Why?
I took you to that monastery in Stockton, right? Do you remember that body? Yes, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened when you die. Your body becomes putrid because all the nasty gas come out. Your tummy become big and bust out.
So pretty much
and all the blood, all the nasty pus and everything come out. Very soon. Like in Burma and some other country, we don't have mortuary, we don't have all these icing and refrigerator. So all the dead body will leave outside. Now that's what will happen to your body. After I die, about 3 days this will happen, about 7 days this will happen, about 10 days this will happen. Now they will dispose me in the forest and all the dogs and crows and all the animals will eat me up. And very soon, only the skeleton will be left. Now if you are not scared, if you're not grossed out with these, look at on YouTube, type in sky burial. You will see in Tibet, when people die, they actually feed it to the butchers. So the undertaker would cut pieces of your body, feed it to the butchers.
Here you go, birdie.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yes. So look it up. It's a little gross, but if you are interested, look it up. But I warn you, it is really graphic and gross. But those are real though.
Sky what?
Yeah.
Is it age restricted?
Yes.
No, it is not age restricted. You should be able to Google it and find it.
Because some
But
YouTube videos are
I
age
warn you,
restricted.
ask your parents first before you actually
have a
Google
question.
it. Yeah.
Alright, so pretty much the second stage. So pretty much you can't fart anymore, or you can't burp. So pretty much that all comes into your stomach, then you just start exploding.
Right now, when you're alive, you are releasing your gas from either down here or up here. Like that. But when you die, you can't do that anymore.
Exactly.
All the gas will come up. Now, if you're bumping or if you're farting, that's what's happening.
How about if you wait?
That tells you that you're dead inside.
Wait. How about if you died while farting? Theory.
You're right. That does happen. So a lot of people, just before they die, they actually lose all the muscles, tone, and sphincter. They lose their urine and they lose their feces.
So they fart before they die.
So they fart.
A lot of people, that does happen. Yes.
Like if you die with your mouth open, at least you can at least burp, right? Like on your mouth. Ain't your fart gonna come out your mouth?
Wayne burps all the time. Is that a problem?
Yeah, your mouth will open too. Remember, all the muscles become relaxed if you die. So your mouth will open. Some people, their eyes will open too.
And plus, the color's changing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so now Halloween is coming up, right? So enjoy your Halloween, but remember all these, okay? And change your practice. If your parents will stay bowing down and burning all these fake papers, tell your parents, Mom, don't do that, that's useless.
You're wasting paper. Save the turtles.
All right,
Or
any
trees,
questions, guys?
Save the trees.
No, all right, okay.
Have fun during Halloween.
Have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have fun.